Olga, we'll put our hands together and welcome you to the stage. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And thank you very much for the flexibility. Very appreciate that. So I'm going to say a couple of words on deep sea mining. Maybe not all of our participants would know what this is. So I'll say the gist of it. So it's a plan to mine the deep ocean floor for metals, namely cobalt, nickel, copper as well. We want to extract the so-called polymetallic nodules that lie there on the ocean floor at the depth of about 4 or 5 kilometers, because we as a global society, as a global community, we are afraid that we are lacking resources for the increasing consumption. And so basically, if you say that in a couple of words, that's what it is. We want to, if you imagine a giant vacuum cleaner that goes all the way down to 4 or 5 kilometers deep and starts sucking up all the nodules, and then it sends it up on the surface where a ship takes these nodules and stores them and delivers them to the shore, then this is what it is. And of course, this also happens while, sucking up all the animals that are there on these nodules and on the seafloor, because there is fauna that lives there. This is a debated issue nowadays, so I'm not the only one who's interested in that. By the way, I first wanted to start with the issue. My name is Olga Mironenko. I'm an environmental scientist, so I do not have any background in mining. I have a background in environmental science. I have a very deep interest in ocean health issues, and deep sea mining lately is one of those. So basically what I wanted to quickly present you here is a social simulation that my partners and I made on this issue. So my partners are the Center for Systems Solutions in Poland. They focus on making sustainability games. Well, they, to be honest, they really dislike when I call it a game. They want it to be called a social simulation because a game feels like something really not so serious. But actually, it's a game, but it's a serious game. What are social simulations in general? And that's where my slides come in handy. This is a process of gaming while interacting with each other. So it's a people-oriented and a communication-oriented way of immersing in a situation. So there can be different sustainability issues or not sustainability issues, but we choose those. In this case, this is deep sea mining. One is immersed in a situation and one learns by being in it. So basically, this is what it looks like. This may seem like a funny picture, but this is indeed how a social simulation runs if it's offline. We have, so now a couple of words on what the deep sea mining simulation is. You are a member of an imaginary stakeholder council. So this stakeholder council is supposed to advise the International Seabed Authority, the body that governs the international seabed and takes the decisions currently on whether there is going to be deep sea mining or not. In our simulation, we create this imaginary, again, alas, it does not exist currently, stakeholder council where different stakeholders are invited to give their own perspective on whether deep sea mining should happen or whether a moratorium on deep sea mining, as many call for, should take place. And there's a variety of roles. Each participant takes a certain role. We have mining industry, manufacturing, we have NGOs, local communities, energy producers as well. We try to look at it from a very broad perspective and try to think of, how different stakeholders, what positions they could take. These roles are, of course, all made up, but they are very close to reality. This is basically a 2-hour-long, 2.5-hour-long participatory process in which you negotiate and you vote. Basically, when you log in, when the simulation starts, you already vote whether you think there should be a moratorium on deep sea mining or whether you're convinced that deep sea mining should take place. But you can actually vote throughout the whole game. And that's how we can also track dynamics, of opinions, whether people get convinced of, the opposite point of view. And as they go, as these 2 hours go along, we present all sorts of arguments to the participants, because we understand that people do not necessarily log in with a lot of knowledge on the issue. There are many subtleties, many details and nuance that is just not obvious. So we present the material, the arguments, as videos that all participants watch. And what is very important for us, whereas we have our own personal stance on the deep sea mining, we by no means want to impose it on anyone, and we do not announce that. Our goal is to present all arguments, all positions in a balanced way, so that everyone who takes part in this game gets, after the 2 hours of the process, they can have their own opinion. Yeah, again, this is very important for us, and we see that simulation as both a tool to raise public awareness of the issue, because the way this project started for us is, I think about 3 years ago, or 4 years ago, I read about deep sea mining for the first time, and it grabbed me because it's a very serious thing. And I started asking around, and I realized that no one knows. Basically, no one knows. But the consequences of this are going to be very big. And so, if we take this decision, we feel that at least it should be an informed decision. We should know what we are doing before we embark on this. And this is our main purpose, the purpose of this project, to raise awareness among people. We also see that as a nice tool for a company that is a stakeholder of the process. Again, these are manufacturers, energy producers, mining companies. Before going in, taking a decision that the company is participating in this, it would also be good to get all sorts of information, all sorts of arguments, and have a weighed position on, do I want to do this or do I not want to do this? So this is basically a good tool where we summarize. We have conducted extensive research on the issue, and basically we are giving a summary that our players can use in taking their own decisions. We also have compiled a library of all sorts of sources that we cannot use everything in the game, but again, as I said, we compiled an extensive pool of sources that we offer to our participants for if they want to later come back to it and explore the issue deeper. And I think I'm running out of time here. Yeah, just to say that this is the slide that you see. The website is the starting website, is the landing page of the simulation. So if you're interested in that, you're very welcome to go. It's not a big page. It won't take up much time of yours. If you would like to take part in it, please fill out the contact form on the website and we'll get back to you. If you have any questions, you would want to discuss it, then here's the email. I'll be very happy to answer any questions of yours. And I think I'm also supposed to say how I see just transition. And if I have a bit more time, I'm going to check whether I have it.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, thanks, Sarah. And how it's linked to what we're doing. Well, to me, my interpretation of this process would be, I mean, if we just take the word just, it needs to be informed, it needs to be transparent, and everyone's opinion should be taken into account. So with deep sea mining, as it currently is, as the decisions are currently taken, it's not exactly like that, because I very briefly mentioned the International Seabed Authority, ISA in short. They are the body that gives licenses, that will give out licenses for mining. But the decisions on whether a license will be given out or not are currently being taken by 10 or 15 people behind closed doors. General public does not have any say in that. These 10, 15 people, they don't really disclose information about environmental assessment. So you cannot even see what the impact on the area is. There are many questions that are now widely discussed about whether ISA is fit to take decisions like that. because again, the consequences will be vast. It needs to be really well thought out. And again, speaking of benefits, Emily previously summarized it in a very good phrase, and I don't remember all of it, but there was equal distribution of benefits and burdens for everyone. And again, I'm not going to go into much detail, but I'm happy to discuss it after or separately if anyone is interested. In the current scenario, there probably won't be an equal distribution of benefits, so to say, whereas this is something that is declared to be a profit for everyone on this planet, probably not. So yeah, there would be some questions. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Olga. It's really, really exciting to see what you've developed and team have developed. So massive round of applause for Olga, everyone. Brilliant. Cool. Now, I know that we've got some questions that are coming in the chat. One thing, just if I may, Olga, with regards to this, so is the purpose of running the simulation, not a game, got that clocked, is it about increasing awareness and through that then trying to kind of raise this up the agenda? Is that the primary purpose of it?
Indeed, that's it. Yeah.
And what kind of response have you had so far with regards to the simulation?
Well, the thing I haven't mentioned is that right now we have had several trial runs of the simulation with several focus groups, and we identified what needs to be improved, because again, developing a game is a long process. So now we are taking time till end of June to polish that. And after that, we're going to run it on a larger scale. So far we have had 4 runs, and we have our own takeaways from that, but it's not something I could really share as, this is what the simulation really shows. But if we talk in autumn, I would be able to do that.
Fantastic. Well, so I think we've got, for example, Pauline is asking, do you just play via a website, or do you need to pay to play? Or that this is code for how can we all do it?
Well, after we have improved so previously it was a moderated session where you had to sign up in advance, and then we have a time, we gather on Zoom like we are doing now, and we play. But we also understand that's one of the things we want to change. We want to have part of the content available for players online, with no moderator, at your own pace. Just go through it, get as much as you can without a moderated session. And that is for free, of course, because that is a tool of raising awareness, and this is for free.
Fantastic. And how many people are you hoping might take part in this? So what's the scale of your ambitions here?
Well, it's about, I would say one session of the game is up to 60, 70 people possible. And we can have an unlimited amount of runs, of course, and we're willing to do that because we don't have so much time. A decision on whether the deep sea mining proceeds or does not, it has to be taken within 2 years or even less. We don't have much time.
Fantastic, cool. And so I know that I'm being bombarded now with questions, which is brilliant. Ludovine, I know that you've got a question that you would like to ask Olga.
Yeah, thank you very much, Olga. I think these kinds of simulations go a long way to getting people to connect to these issues. My question was really more about the balance of the approach. So, irrespective of the outcome, is there an opportunity for the participants and therefore for the simulation as a whole to also put forward, the arguments that support deep sea mining? Not that I'm a great advocate of deep sea mining, but because knowing these arguments and understanding them is also how you evolve the rationale for responses. So I was wondering to what extent you also, follow up with the outcomes on both sides of the issue.
All right, if I understand your question correctly, Ludovine, first of all, thanks for that. When we present, again, the whole gaming session is not only talking to each other, it's also learning about deep sea mining, because we assume that people won't know much. And so we present them all sorts of arguments, real arguments, we don't make them up, for and against deep sea mining. So we do not try to present them in a biased way. or, you know, make people choose one of those stances. But we present everything there is. And if a person supports deep sea mining, then they vote for deep sea mining, and then that's their vote. So that's it. That's the outcome of the simulation. We just want people to take an informed decision. And if that's for deep sea mining, that's their choice.
Thanks very much.
Cool, thanks, Olga. I've got some more questions coming in here. So firstly, back to Pauline, who I know she has a host or a crop of students, shall we say. Is that something where Pauline can get in touch with you and then maybe get the students involved, etc.?
Absolutely, yes, yes.
Excellent. I can see that. I can just picture that Pauline is smiling at a computer screen at the moment. I think you'll be getting an email there. Then also I've got a question here from Graham that's come in through the Q&A, and he asks, well, he says, hi, an excellent presentation by Olga, but has anyone yet given any thought to the management of tailings if deep sea mining is developed? Do you have any comments there?
No, I would not be in the position to say that. Not the tailings. It's already too technical.
Okay,
I know
so
something I'm happy to share because I'm going through a lot of information on deep sea mining. So if I have an email or some kind of contact information, I'm happy to send it along.
Awesome. So Graham, there you go. You got your very direct answer there. If you want to engage with Olga, please do feel free to pop your email address into chat or reach out to her, and we'll make sure that those contact details or a method of contacting one another is available. So thanks for that, Graham. There's another question here that's come in the chat from Nick, and he asks, will the outcomes of the simulations be communicated to those people and organizations who decide whether mining will/can go ahead in the deep sea environment?
Well, it's an interesting question. If a group of students plays, or a mixed group of where you have students and just general public, if they play, would it be useful to a mining company? I mean, if at some point mining companies approach us for this data and say, we would like to see whether the public supports that, we'll be only happy to provide that. Absolutely, but I have my own doubts that we will be approached for that information.
So Olga,
I hope to be wrong.
So just on that, and here I come waltzing into the middle, being that matrix or that glue that Responsible Raw Materials tries to be, is if we could stitch you together with some of those mining companies, would that be of help to you?
That would be wonderful. Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent.
Thank you for that.
Consider that done. And if anybody out there considers themselves to be more from that mining company background and wants to get in touch with Olga, please do feel free to do that. Olga, I'm already getting messages saying people are bombarding you on LinkedIn. So apologies.
That's awesome. For that one. That's awesome.
Because I think this is definitely part of perhaps what as I understand it, what you're trying to create here is actually trying to spread that awareness as far and wide as possible. And yes, so that's absolutely brilliant. Great. So with regards to that, and thank you very much for that question there, Nick, that's fantastic. And just a reminder, if you do have questions, please post them into the chat or into the Q&A or into the YouTube, which I'm just double checking now, and we don't have any questions up there. So with that, Olga, I'm going to ask, do you have any final words of wisdom you'd like to share with us? As I understand it, sometime towards Q3, the autumn direction, if we're in the Northern Hemisphere, you will be opening this up so all of us can have a little play, sorry, a big play with your simulation, because I think you've now got quite a few people who will be signing up to do it. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll be glad to do that.
Brilliant, fantastic. So thank you very much for that, Olga. Absolutely brilliant. Big round of applause to yourself.
Thank you.
Fantastic, and absolutely loving the look of your simulation. It looks truly glorious. So if you've got more questions, by the way, everybody, for Olga, please do continue to put them into chat or online in different formats, and we'll make sure that they get through to her. Olga, safe travels, because I know that you've got to get on the road shortly. So stay safe with that. Absolutely.
Thank you
brilliant.
very much, Sarah. Thank you.
Oh, sorry. There's one really good question that's come in. Is it possible for Indigenous communities to participate in the simulation?
Absolutely. That's one of our roles in the simulation.
So that's a big yes, Eric. Fabulous question. So fantastic. Thank you very much for that. Another final round of applause. Glorious. Great.
Thank you very much for the questions and for the attention.
Great. Thanks, Olga, and good luck. Good luck.